Hello, everybody, and welcome to another GamingStooges review. And no, Justin is not here for this one.
Faggot.
That's because he didn't buy the game yet. He hasn't played it.
It's because he's a faggot.
He's a faggot.
Yep.
So he can go ahead. All of his fans can cry. But today we are going to be reviewing Senran Kagura Burst for the 3DS. It came out on the eShop back in November. November, right? Yeah, November.
Yeah.
It was also a retail game in Europe. We didn't get the retail copy though, because
it's not out in Europe yet.
It's not out in Europe yet. When they get it, they're going to have a retail copy.
Well, yeah, they didn't get it when it was released out here. I think they have to wait till like February or something. I can check that while I wait for you guys to talk.
Yep. We got it only as a digital release. We're not getting a retail copy, and it's weird because it's like it's not actually just its own game. It actually contains the first game inside of it. I don't know. I looked into it. It's really it's all this messed up stuff.
It's a port. It's like a remake. Like they made like an enhanced version. It's like Dragon's Dogma: Dark Arisen or the XCOM Enemy Within. It's the original game plus
the new game, which is actually we'll get into that after, but we can start with Jack's opinion on the game.
What he's played.
Okay. I've played enough.
He's played enough.
You say so.
Okay. I'm going. I haven't really heard the opinions from either two sides for this game yet, and I'm going to start by saying that I probably don't like this game as much as these two guys do. I didn't play it nearly as much as they did, and I put it down I kind of put it down a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's not like I disliked the game. It's just that I just sort of stopped. And yeah, that's the link to the physical release in Europe. I don't know. I mean, I played 3 chapters on both sides of the game, and I thought it was all right. It was pretty fun from what I played. I guess basic info for no one knows what the game is. It's like a side scroller beat 'em up. It's pretty fun, albeit very repetitive. But if you're into beat 'em ups, that's probably not that big of an issue for you. But this game, it's pretty prevalent in some places. I feel like there's not a very good what's the word? Variety in enemy designs. A lot of the enemies are very samey. It's there are basically 2 different games in this game with their own stories that kind of I don't know, they interfere, I guess, with each other, and they each have their own 6 characters. And fuck, I forgot where I was going with this. Basically, some characters are better than others, I would say. I definitely have a lot more fun playing the game with, say, Katsuragi as opposed to Hibari or Mirai. I mean, every character has their own playstyle, and that's definitely not something to complain about, but some playstyles I definitely enjoy more than others. The music, I didn't really remember any of the music in this game, honestly. It's pretty... Did you? Because I kind of got muffled over behind the sound effects. Did you want to say something about the music?
No, keep going.
Okay.
I'll have my turn.
We're being entertained, please.
Yeah, I didn't beat the game, so I guess, if you're going to be that guy and say, oh, can't have a full opinion on the game.
You can't have a full opinion on the game.
I'm like,
you didn't beat it.
Shut up, Landon. Don't be that guy.
I am that guy.
Okay. I know you are, but shut up.
Thanks.
Yeah, I might go back to it sometime in the future, and I probably will, but not for quite some time. Overall, I thought the game was good. No, I wouldn't. I'm not even sure if I would say good. I would say decent at the most. Not only that, but this is a very niche game, and even if you are a fan, and if you're not me and you do actually really like the way the game plays, it is a very niche game in the sense that you really have to not mind the fact that every character in this game is a girl with very large breasts, and they shove that in. Except for one, yeah. And they shove that in your face a lot. And, it's not like one of those things that you can just ignore, like, oh, if you get past this and the game is good. No, that's very much in your face. And if you don't like that, then I can't say that this is a game for you. So if you do like that or don't mind it at all, then I'd say
if you're a man,
give it a shot. I'd say give it a shot. Maybe you might find something here that I didn't. And I'll pass it over to Cloud.
All right. Correction. So, what?
I don't know if I played this game enough to have an opinion on it. I only played 70 hours, but I'll see what I can say about this game. No, but when I first got this game, I did not have high expectations for it. Considering it was a niche game that was just brought over, I figured it would hold my attention for a little while, and then I'd probably put it down and play something else. But I will admit, when I got past the whole niche factor, because it is extremely niche, I actually found a pretty enjoyable, albeit very repetitive game. And the thing that really appeals to me is that there was two genres that I used to play as a kid, and strangely, role-playing games was not really one of those genres. My two prominent genres were side-scrolling beat-em-ups and platformers, and I used to play games like Streets of Rage, the Genesis Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and this game is extremely on point, dead on that style of gameplay. So there is actually a nostalgia factor in the gameplay for me out of that. The graphics are actually pretty impressive because I played other 3DS games where they couldn't really keep up with all of the animation action happening on the screen at the same time. Surprisingly, Senran Kagura Burst does a very good job of keeping up with that. And the game,
if I can interrupt you for just a sec, although the base frame rate is relatively low, so while there aren't many frame drops, the frame rate itself isn't that high to begin with. Continue.
Okay. I lost my place for a second there.
Graphics, frame rate.
As I was the thing is though, there's a lot of games that the same can be said for a lot of games, but regardless, I digress. The game looks good. It runs nicely. Although when you get into like the story aspect of the game, it's kind of the structure of the game, it's conflicting because the gameplay is repetitive, but it's really fun. But then you get taken to these extremely chugging story segments that, although you can skip them, which is good, it does, rather than actually like advance the story and like really help the presentation of the game and give you a real sense of atmosphere, most of the story is just kind of like episodic and not really engaging. So if you're into the kind of style of game that the story gives you, which is like a slice of life with like mixed with ninjas, because that's what all the characters are. They're actually all ninjas and they attend ninja academies, and the two sides are actually feuding. I guess it's kind of interesting, but if you can't really get into it, it's one of those, just skip to the next part of the game, just play the game itself, just ignore the story, which is kind of sad, but it's all right, I guess. Now, the music, like Jack said, I hardly remember any of them. There's a lot of different tracks to the game. There's 12 tracks for 12 or 13 tracks per like gameplay segment, because there's like untransformed music tracks, and then there's your transformed music tracks, which take over pretty much the entirety of the gameplay. And then you have certain tracks that outside of those 12 or 13 that play when you're in the story segments and all that. I only remember a few of them, and the ones that I do, I think, are all just transformed state musics. And to run off of that point, actually, one thing is like the ninjas, the girls, they transform. And at first, I thought that was a neat idea, but then after a while, when you're playing the game, you realize it kind of doesn't really do much of anything. Like, if you could easily just start off the stage transformed, and there would have been like no difference. So I feel like they didn't really do too much with some of the options that they had. Enemy design, like Jack said, is really There's a lot of different characters, and the playstyles are really different, and I will admit some of them are just a couple of them are flat out bad. They just don't control well. Some of them are really fun to use, though. Most of them are really fun to use. It's just there's those one or two that just kind of control in a way that you don't really want to use them that much. Thankfully, there's the way that the game is structured, there's different missions for each chapter of the game. There's 5 chapters per side. And you only have to use the person who's required for that mission once, and then you can use anybody else for that mission. And then all of the optional stuff that each chapter has, because there's about 5 to 7 or 8 optional missions, you can use any character you want. And as long as you clear the mission once with any character, it's considered cleared. You don't have to go back and do it with everybody, unless you really want to, like me and Landon. And there's different grading system. You can get a D, C, B, or A rank.
How do you even
and then there's how do you even get a D? Although it's admittedly it's extremely hard to get a low rank in that game. You just have to beat the crap out of all the enemies and not just let your character stand there and take a bunch of damage. So it's easy to get a good rank most of the time. There's also a option called frantic mode, which is part of the whole transformation. Separate from the transformation, you can just you can have your character go into a bikini, and then they take a lot more damage, but they also do a lot more damage, and they're faster. And it's basically another option for if you're feeling ballsy, and if you clear a stage frantic, rather than get a grade, you actually get a star. So you can try to go for all A's and all frantics and all that stuff if you're a perfectionist. But you don't, again, it's not forced. You don't have to do it one way or the other. You can do it just without frantic. You can do it with the frantic, although frantic...
Although frantic...
I think overall, I'll say most of my overall thoughts at the end, but I have to say I did enjoy this game a lot more than I thought I would. So I am glad that I got this game, and in fact, the person who told me about this game is the next person who will share his opinion, Landon.
Oh, I thought it was Justin.
No.
No, he's a faggot because he's not here.
Right. That's right. He has no balls. Besides the fact that Cloud cut out there for a while, so I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But my turn.
Nice.
I could hear him.
Boobs. Oh, I couldn't, so that probably means he didn't record. But
you could check it real quick.
Best parts are boobs. Lots of it. Yeah. And I can't think right now because I'm playing the game right now.
How about you stop playing the game?
But okay. Okay, so
but he had to make sure that he played 100 hours so his opinion would be valid.
they said words, and some of them are right words, and then most of it's not right words. I forget which words I agree with and which words I don't. I think the words that explain the game I agreed with. The opinion stuff I didn't really care for. Mainly because it's not my opinion, therefore it's wrong.
I didn't know that you were reviewing the review.
I am.
You're reviewing the game, not the review.
I played this review before, and it sucked balls, so... Where was I? Right, so all the characters have big boobs, and that's cool. I like boobs. I'm not gay. Go away! No, for real though, it's a fun game. It is really mindless. It's a mindless beat 'em up, because it's all mash the Y button to win. Sometimes you press the A button to go to an aerial raid, and sometimes you hit the X button to, if you're Hibari, you're always pressing the X button and you're jumping. But, and then every character has like super ninja arts that pretty much destroy everything. Unless you Hibari, then you don't do shit. Hibari just...
It's funny. True.
It's true. She's just like, what? And then... No, her ultimate one's pretty decent. I use that. But her other two are just like, trash. There's a lot of character customization. You unlock like a bunch of different like clothing options, which is fun, which makes me, it makes me want to play the game so I can unlock it all. There's a bunch of unlockables, and I like unlockables. I like titles and music. You play all the music from the menu, and I like pictures. I like pictures, especially etchy, sketchy stuff. Thanks, Xseed, for bringing this game over. 10 out of 10 would bang 5 more times.
Oh, wow. In this entire review, I don't even think we even explained who the characters are in this game.
So there's Asuka. She's like...
All right.
Okay, Narek, leader of
who even cares?
Boobies. There's
Ikaruga.
Cat's the important one. The rest suck. Balls. Good night.
Well, let's see. There's cat, and
Cat.
There's on the Hanzo side, which is actually part of the first game that was brought over, there's Asuka, who is generic leader, Ikaruga, Cat, they're the seniors. Then
Generic.
Yagu,
They're all generic.
Yagu
Eye Catch Girl.
And generic Eye Catch Girl. And then on the other side, there's Homura, Yami, Hikage. She's my favorite one. Mirai and Haruka. And then there's 2 bonus characters, one on each side, but those don't matter.
They don't matter because they're bonus. And you can't customize them.
No, you can't.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't know that. Anyway, I didn't talk about this in my part because I forgot. Probably because it sucks, but I don't like the story in this game at all. It's really boring. It's like giant... I mean, okay.
Sorry.
It's like, there's like character interactions.
Story beyond all
like
the
that. And it's like, there's character interactions and shit like that. And this would be fine, like, if it were an anime, maybe. But everything is portrayed in walls of text that take like 10 fucking minutes to read through. And
this is a visual novel.
Help but not. I can't help but skip it.
It's half visual novel, half Streets of Rage.
Also, I don't really
novel anime.
I mean, I know boobs is what the game's about, but I don't really care for the personalities of most of the characters. They all come off as very generic in most cases.
Because it's all about
except for Cat, because you have a hard on for Cat.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, even Cat's just like. I mean, I've seen I've seen anime before where it's like, you have that one girl that just wants to grope everything. And, Cat's that girl. It's like all of these character archetypes I've seen before. And,
I'm going to cut you off so we can wrap this up, though.
No!
All right, whatever.
We were talking about Cat!
We basically explained the entire game at this point, though. So, final thoughts, Jack?
My opinion's different than yours. Okay, Noah. I didn't like it as much as they did. I thought it was okay. nothing really too special and nothing that's really going to stick with me for a while. I didn't really go into it with much high expectations, and I didn't really come out with much better, so, it was alright.
Oh, right, you're talking. Sorry. Cloud, go on.
Now,
What did you say? What are you doing?
In contrast to what Jack said, I also didn't go in with high expectations, but I will admit I came out a little bit more impressed than I thought. I liked the game overall. Some of it wasn't that great. Some of it was really fun. I wouldn't really recommend the game if you're trying to get a deep experience. That is the farthest thing from that. But if you just want a mindless, fun game, then this is, and you are okay with fan service. Yeah, it's a fun game. And Landon, you can wrap it up. Wrap it up.
I wrap up the boobs, man. Yeah, there's boobs, except for that one character that no one likes, and Hibari. I liked it. It had boobs. Thanks. We'll see you guys next time on Big Boob Adventures 12. The reboobing.